Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I have the Z for score and just looking for I don't think I have a bingo as such, but looking at ways to potentially get that Z onto the double letter square, either at L8 or D8. Zorro, if I had another R, pretty close. I have Razor as a 5, and Arroz. There it is. I thought there was an anagram. Arroz for 48, and a pretty decent rack leave. Is munting good? Not sure about that. And I don't know about unmitering, but that wouldn't really help. Untaming. Can you untame a creature? Looking at that. Mounting. So mounting and untaming, potentially both would be blocked, but opponent might be tempted by the Z. Just looking, no front hooks. So mounting is definitely good. Not sure about untaming. Unmating sounds even less likely. Maunting, no. I think muniting might be good. Munite, but no I available at this stage. So opponent taking a while on their first move. Perhaps they're close to a bingo. Just looking at Z plays. None that I can see offhand. Yeah, just curious about untaming, because I feel that mounting is more likely to be blocked given the scoring potential of these two columns, K and L. So, yeah, I'll see what opponent does and then make my decision from there. Just looking at potential 8s with this rack. I have the IUM ending, but don't see. Okay, so opponent does take out column K. I'll try untaming, since we are playing Void Challenge. And it is good. Okay, I'll draw the Q. And I have cat, I have chin, I have the U, almost aquatone, but not quite. Do I have a bingo through the Q? Through the U. Quote. And do I have a 4-timer? Not even a bingo, but it doesn't look likely. I do have toke, I guess, as an option with a decent rack leave. Does create an X hotspot, so not overly enthusiastic about that play. Canat through an A and Trank through an R. That R is not available. I do now have a way of extending from the Z, so a play of Zuia, or even Zuei, but I'm inclined to want to hang on to the E just to keep some balance with the consonants. Hanging on to a Q is generally leads to an undesirable outcome, I've found. Of course, it does depend on the board position. In this particular instance, opponent does bingo, sackless. Just looking if I have any Q plays through the S, which I don't, and no particular reason in blocking that either. So is toke the play, or is quote better? Well, quote doesn't create an X hotspot. N quote no good. Unquote might be good, but I quite like the rack leave. 28 points is a decent score. I think I'll go with this. I duplicate 3 of the tiles that are on my rack, so I won't be bingoing this turn. Well, it's unlikely. I won't say that I definitely won't, but it's unlikely with these tiles. Okay, that could have been worse. Opponent scores 24 for nosy. I still do have ways of extending from the Z. A play of Zone A would actually sort the rack out really well and leave me with as good a leave as I'm going to get. So Zone A for 28. Just before I do commit to that play, I just want to see if I definitely don't have a play maybe through the G. Agen Rene's, something like that. Nah, can't see it. Alright, Zone A it is for 28. And that's a great rack. Enrages is the first one that jumps out. Enrages, I don't believe Untaming would take an S, which is a shame. Enranges is good as well, I believe. Or is it Outrange? Outrange is, maybe I'm mixing it up with Outrange. Okay. I do have the ing ending, so razzying is good, but I don't believe rassying is good. So that's a shame. Do I have a parallel play? No. Front hooks for Tide. I don't believe it takes an S, although Stide, Styre I'm thinking of. I'll just, since we're playing Void, I'll just check, but I don't hold much hope. Stide, no, it's no good. There's a lot of words that do take the S front hook. Now I do have the EST ending to a word. reneges is the other anagram of enrages. Reneges through another E, but I've got the I to work with. Generals through an L. Grenades through a D. Is it Sangaree? No. Energies, that's the one I was thinking of. Energies plays here for 63. And a pretty good pickup, actually. Got some scoring tiles. Just have to figure out the best spot for them. Bops, no back hook for bops. I don't believe it takes a Y. Bopsy. At a minimum, I have hoof here. That'll get rid of duplicates and 2 of my scoring tiles. The TY, pretty good synergy. Nice bingo by opponent. So scores are pretty close now. Just looking at ways of getting perhaps my Y on this square here and coming down from C3. A 5-letter play like a word ending in AY or OY, for example. Pity I don't have an E, otherwise I'd have hooey, and that would score close to 50. But I need to really look at that spot. And although if I am to play hoof as previously discussed, I do have the Y for the next turn, and perhaps a 5-letter play will be presented to me with my replenished letters. I'm going with hoof for 32. Okay, I draw the J. I don't quite think I have a play ending in AY. Agility if the J was an I, but okay, opponent has actually utilized that spot and scored quite well. Can I get my J to play down here? Jail doesn't quite work. Even a play of J on this side would be a good score. Let's see what that, just keeping an eye on my time, down to 5 minutes. J for 37. Just looking at any other really hot J spots. The Y there. I'd like to utilize that Y, a play of maybe Gay there for 36, and then utilizing my J on the next one like Jilt, which I actually do have, but that's likely to be taken, although that has created a bit of a spot where my T would play. So I think, given the options presented, I'm going to go with this, only because of that hot spot and the potential there too. And my J could, there's a few J spots. I'm going with this, Gay for 36. So at a minimum I have Jilt here for about 40. 51, wow, more than I thought. I don't quite have a T play with the J, I don't think. Just looking at jetties, no. Okay, Jilt still plays, so I'll go for that for 51. And Jewies is an option. It's a type of fish. So Jewies for 45, almost worth burning the blank for. Quite likely my opponent will take that spot. Does weariest fit? No. I've got 2 E's and 2 I's. So likely to be an IER ending word, like weirdy through a R. Weirdy. Oh, with the blank as a D. That's good. Weirdy. Does that play retinule? Retinule, I think, is good, isn't it? Retinula. Weirdy. I think this might be good, actually. Weirdy for 70. Yes, that's quite a relief, because I don't think I have. Well, I might have had something through the T, but happy that one came off. I have chum here for 35. Do I have a better spot for it? I've got 3.5 minutes and just a few tiles left, including the X-bomb. So I need to keep an eye on that. A potential. He doesn't have a lot of flexibility with the X, but just do a quick scan for X plays. This is obviously a good X spot here, a 40 odd point play. Do I take that out, or is he able to utilize this spot? Not really with the X. So I think I do play chum. Yeah, it also helps me to balance the rack, and I retain my solitary vowels. So chum for 35. Do I have an outplay? That's an interesting question. Didn't even consider my outplay here, so I'm down to 2 minutes. Pawn. I have pawn, PWN, but WAP. Pawn. Can I play out with pawn? Let me think this through. Well, I'll have to cross the bridge when I get to it. Chum for 35. So I should be able to outrun opponent here, unless he has a monster X play for like 62. I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. I have WAP here for 21. Just looking if I do have an outplay, but on this board with one vowel, it's going to be a big ask. Zone A, no further hooks. Pew, I have pew here if my WAP spot is taken. Just looking if I have an outplay through the I. Porwin, no, that's no good. Porwin, it's Lawin and Rawin with an R, but poor win is wishful thinking. Any parallel play through the E, like weapon, nah. And through the E here. No, I can't see it. So opponent is searching for that big X play. He doesn't have access to play under the L because he only has a U and an E. So that spot's no good to him. Or her. I don't know my opponent. I just generically say him, but could be a woman I'm playing. So yeah, I think the best possible play would be Tex. Okay, that I did think my opponent would play there. Lurk, he has lurk to go out. Can he play that anywhere? Not sure, but I'm just going to go for the maximum score, which I believe is WOP for 21. And my opponent with his K, I don't think I've given him anything juicy there for the K. But my N would play, I suppose if I played Depant. Just thinking if I had any fancy play there with Chin, A-N-T. Actually, maybe if I played Pew and then Ant, it would have been a better combined score. Anyway, it's immaterial at this stage. Just looking at the best possible plays. Din for 2, 3, 6. And yeah, I think 6 will probably be the best I can see here. Doven actually would be better. 9, Doven for 9. And that's the end of the game. So just thank my opponent. Oh, got caps lock on. So let's just take a quick look at the examiner to see what we missed. So back to the beginning of the game. Aroz looks okay for 48. And then my opponent had RB Sports, Saprobes, B-Probes, B-Sports again. Yeah, there were a few there, so a miss there by opponent. Untaming for 63. Munting I did spot, and it did play there in row 9. Okay, but I went with Untaming. And Discases for 88 at 10G. Wow, tricky to spot. Oh, look at that. Beautiful underlap. Making Oba, Zos, PE, Discases. Wow. Congratulations if you spotted that. I don't think I would have. In fact, I know I wouldn't. But he does spot the bingo there. Sackless, which was good. And Quote I was happy with. Seems pretty good. Toke left the O under the triple, which I thought was, I don't know, just a little bit too volatile with the K unplayed and the X obviously. So I went with Quote. Then Zooey was best for opponent here, and he went with Nosy. Okay. Zone was my play, sorted the rack out beautifully, so I was very happy to have scored and balanced both in equal proportions. And then detinue 29 at 6D. Okay. 6D. So that actually getting value off the queue. Detinue. Very nice. That did sort the rack out very well too, and scored quite nicely considering they're all 1 pointers apart from the D. And then we were on to my rack, and I went with what did I go with? Energies, but there was reagents through the S. That's a miss. Grantees, these are words that I've played. Negators, obviously. So didn't have my Scrabble cap on firmly on that rack, but happy to have spotted a bingo. Retinula, nice play by opponent, just 2 off the pace, tenurial being a couple of points better. And then hoof was a little bit down off the pace, 1 point less, but a better rack leave, AHT, so Analyzer did prefer that one, but not far off, so I was happy with my play. Tricky rack for opponent, but he scores well and undoubles both the U and the D, so he did well there. Actually, he got rid of both Ds, so very nice play, that one, daubed. And then Jilt was best. This is when I decided to take advantage of the Y spot and still retain the letters for Jilt. So even though probably off the pace a bit there, my thinking was 2 decent scores. I was going to score well with the J no matter what happened because I had JAs, and so I thought hang on to the J and just play gay for a decent score, 36. Opponent still struggling a bit with a Val heavy rack. Dovey was best. 40 points at A5. Oyer. Yeah, there were quite a few front hooks. It was very volatile, and maybe that's why Jilt would have been better. But anyway, Dovey was a good score for 40 and wouldn't have given anything back. But opponent did go with Dove, so not far off the pace there. Nice play. Jilt scored 51, which was, it kept me a bingo ahead pretty much. And then Finney for 6F. Yeah, that was my opponent's play. He got value off the queue, sorted out his duplicate eyes, and Vino was best with the rack leave of keeping the F and the I rather than the O and the V plus AU. Okay, so not far off though. Weirdy for 70 was my play. I could have got Viewier for... of course, because the word would have been doubled. Weirdy just got face value pretty much, but Viewier would have... Yeah, maybe I should have taken a bit more time on that rack. 11 points is quite a drop in score, so that was a miss. And then Jovial was best. Opponent spotted that. Very nice. Chum was the top play there, so happy to have... I took a bit of time over that because I was looking for a 2 play out, but I couldn't see one. But that gave me enough of a lead to clench it. With these tiles, my opponent certainly was not bingoing, and he spots the best play with Tex, and then WAP for 21, although Warp for 23 at F8. Okay. Chump and Warp. Okay, so not a big difference. Same rack leave, couple of extra points, and my opponent then played Turk, and I went out with Doven for 9, which was best. So, pretty good game, some nice words played. I think my opponent had a bit of a tough time there with some vowel-heavy racks, and he did well to balance rather than changing, and just kept scoring and was always just roughly no more than a bingo behind, so he did well considering. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that one, and I will see you next time.